Today I'm going to walk you through the first 3 things that you must learn if you want to play jazz piano. First, I'm going to show you how to count intervals. Then I'm going to show you how to build 7th chords from all 12 notes. And third, I'll show you how to play the 2-5-1 through all 12 keys. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you my favorite arranging techniques for beginners. My name's Julian Bradley. We're going to get straight in. Enjoy the lesson. So the first step as a jazz piano player is you must learn to count intervals. Interval in music is a term that describes the distance between any 2 notes. This is a half step, this is a whole step, this is a minor third, this is a major third, this is a fourth, this is a tritone, and this is a fifth. And these are the most important intervals that you must learn first. So as a jazz piano player, you count intervals all day long. That's what you do. When I play a chord like this, it's an interval pattern. Minor third, major third, whole step, fourth. And if I want to play that chord from any other note, I'm going to have to be able to count those intervals. So the first interval you have to learn is the fifth. The fifth is a very useful interval. If you only learn one interval, learn the fifth. There's only 12 of them. You can build it from each of the 12 notes. And you just have to remember each fifth as a 2-note pair. So G and D, A flat and E flat, A and E, B flat and F, B and F sharp, C and G. So whatever chord you're playing, there's usually a natural fifth. So the fifth is very useful for chords. After that, of course, you have the whole step, the half step. Those are quite straightforward. A half step is the smallest note change possible, and a whole step is 2 half steps. Then you're going to need to learn the thirds. So you have a major third is 2 whole steps, and the minor third is a whole step plus a half step. So if you're on a tricky note like F sharp and you want to count up a major third, you can just count up 2 whole steps. And if you need a minor third, you just count up a whole step and a half step. If you want to go to a different note, B, upper major third, 2 whole steps is D sharp, or a minor third, you count up whole step and half step. And those will be very useful for building chords, because in jazz, chords are built in thirds. So you have major third plus minor third plus major third plus minor third, major third, minor third. After that, you have the fourth, which is very similar to the fifth, because if you've learned the fifths first, well, those note pairs are actually the same but reversed for the fourth. So C upper fifth is G, but G upper fourth is C. So when you start learning the fourths, they're all just the fifths but reversed. And then last of all, you have the tritone, which looks like this. It's called a tritone because it's 3 whole tones. 3 tones is tritone. And the tritone is also called a diminished fifth or an augmented fourth, but in jazz we mostly just call it a tritone. And you can find the tritone by counting up a fifth, which you've memorized, and then just come down a half step. So if we're on a tricky note like F sharp, go up a fifth, come down a half step. Or if you're on A flat, count up a fifth, then come down a half step. Now the sixths are quite rarely used. Of all these intervals, they're the least important. I do recommend you learn them, but since this is a beginner lesson, you don't really have to learn the sixths from all 12 notes. And then the sevenths, you have a major 7 and a minor 7. You can just go up an octave and come down a whole step to find the minor 7. And you can go up an octave and count down a half step to find the major 7. Now you can practice counting intervals away from your instrument, just in your head. You can just go on interval journeys. C up a fifth is G, down a whole step is F, up a tritone is B, down a minor third is A flat, up a major sixth is F, down a whole step, up a fourth, down a whole step, up a fifth, down a major third, up a tritone, down a minor third. Now in the rest of this lesson, I've baked in plenty of interval counting examples. So as you continue to watch, you'll see more and more how I count intervals. But I also recommend you download the free resource I've put together for this lesson, which has all of your intervals counting from all 12 notes. So to download that for free, just click the link below. Okay, so your next big step is to learn to build seventh chords. Now, there are four main types of seventh chord that make up most of jazz, and they are the major 7 chord. Here's C major 7. Then we have the minor 7 chord. This is C minor 7. Then there's the dominant 7 chord. This is C dominant 7. And then we have the half-diminished chord. This is C half-diminished, also known as C minor 7 flat 5. Now you have to learn these chords as interval patterns, and the major 7 chord is major third, then a minor third, then a major third. And the way you can build it is, first of all, you can memorize the fifths, so you know you've got the root and fifth. Then for the third, you can count 2 whole steps. And then for the 7th, you can go up an octave and down a half step. And those are your 4 notes. Let's try A major 7. We know our fifths. Add the major third, 2 whole steps, and then find the major 7th, go up an octave, down a half step. Let's do the same from B flat, find the 5th, then let's find the major third, that's 2 whole steps, it's going to be D, and then we'll find the major 7th, go up an octave, down a half step. And you can practice this from all 12 notes. So from F sharp, find the 5th, then 2 whole steps, and then find the major 7th, up an octave, down a half step. So this works from any of the 12 notes. Next we have the minor 7 chord. Now here is C minor 7. It's going to be a minor third plus a major third plus a minor third. So here's how I would find it. Again, start with the 5th. You've memorized your fifths. Then to find the minor third, you're going to count up a whole step plus a half step. And then to find the minor 7th, you can go up an octave and come down a whole step. Let's go to a different note, B flat. Find the 5th first. Now find the minor third, whole step, half step. Now find the minor 7th, go up an octave, down a whole step. Let's go to E. Can you play E minor 7? Well, we're going to start with the natural 5th. We've memorized the fifths. Let's find the minor third, go up a whole step and a half step. Now let's find the minor 7th. That is E minor 7. Let's do the same for F sharp. Let's find the 5th. We've memorized the fifths. Let's find the minor third, whole step plus half step. Now let's find the minor 7th, go up an octave, and down a whole step. And again, your goal is to learn to play all 12 minor 7 chords. C minor 7, F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat minor 7. And you can just go up in fourths, it will take you through all 12 notes. That's another pattern you can use. A flat minor 7, C sharp minor 7, F sharp minor 7, B minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G minor 7, C minor 7. Now the next 7th chord to learn is the dominant 7 chord. Here is C dominant 7, and this is just written C7. We don't write C dom 7. Now to build the dominant 7 chord, again, we have to count the intervals. I would start by finding the 5th, and you've just memorized the fifths. Then you want to find the major third, again, 2 whole steps is E. And then to find the 7th, this time it's a minor 7th, so just jump up an octave and count down a whole step. That is C dominant 7. Let's go to A flat. Can you tell me what the 5th is? It's E flat. Tell me what the major third is. 2 whole steps is C. And can you tell me what the minor 7th is? Up an octave, down a whole step is G flat, and this is A flat dominant 7. Let's go to D. Can you tell me which notes I'm going to play? For D dominant 7, we'll start with the 5th. It's A. The major third is 2 whole steps. That's F sharp. And the minor 7th is up an octave, down a whole step. And this is D dominant 7. And again, your goal is to build this interval pattern from all 12 notes. You can go up in fourths from C. So F dominant 7, up a fourth to B flat. Go up a fourth to E flat. And then the final seventh chord I want to show you today is called the half-diminished chord. Here is C half-diminished. It's going to be a minor third plus a minor third plus a major third. This is C half-diminished, also known as C minor 7 flat 5, because it's like a C minor 7 chord that we just looked at. And then if you flatten the fifth, you get this half-diminished chord. So you'll see it written both ways. So for the interval pattern, I would build this with a minor third first. Then I would find the flat fifth by finding the natural fifth first, then flattening it. And then for the minor seventh, I'd jump up an octave and come down a whole step. Now we can practice that from all 12 notes. Let's go to F, find the minor third, whole step plus half step is A flat. Let's find the flat fifth, natural fifth is C, flatten it. And then let's find the minor seventh, go up an octave and down a whole step. We can go up a fourth again to B flat, find the minor third, whole step plus half step, find the flat fifth, natural fifth is F, down a half step, and then find the minor seventh, go up an octave and down a whole step. And again, spend a week just learning this interval pattern from all 12 notes. You can jump around at random, or you can go up in fourths. And the reason you need to learn these seventh chords is that every jazz song you're going to play is going to use a combination of these 4 chords built from all 12 notes. So to be fully prepared for any chord symbol that you might see in the music, you need to learn them now. So the next big milestone is to learn the 2-5-1 in all 12 keys. The 2-5-1 is a chord progression which makes up most of jazz. So let's demonstrate in the key of C major. You're going to build the 2 chord from the second scale degree, and you're going to build every other note using the notes of C major scale. We get this minor 7 chord. This is D minor 7, the 2 chord. Then we go to the 5 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the same thing, every other note. We get this chord type, which is G dominant 7. And then we go to the 1 chord, which is going to be every other note. We have a major 7 chord. C major 7 is the 1 chord. So D minor 7, G dominant 7, C major 7. This is the most common chord progression in jazz. So 2-5-1, 2-5-1, 2-5-1, back to the home key, 2-5-1. In a nutshell, that's how jazz harmony works. There's other songs like Taxi Driver, 2, 5, 1. 2, 5, 1. Now you'll see this 3-chord pattern all through jazz songs, and you need to be able to recognize it just by looking at the chord symbols. So for example, if you saw F minor 7 going up a fourth to B flat dominant 7, coming down a fifth to E flat major 7, that is a 2-5-1 in which key? Well, you can look at the 1 chord. Here it's E flat major 7. That means that E flat major is the scale. Or let's say you saw B flat minor 7 going up a fourth to E flat dominant 7, going down a fifth to A flat major 7. That would be a 2-5-1 in which key? Well, the 1 chord is A flat major, so that's A flat major scale. And to spot a 2-5-1 in the chord sheet, you're looking at 2 things. First of all, the chord types. So minor 7 is usually the 2 chord of a 2-5-1. Dominant 7 is always actually the 5 chord of a 2-5-1. And major 7 is usually the 1 chord of a 2-5-1. So you're looking at the chord types, but you're also looking at the root notes. And you're looking for this pattern. 2 chord going up a fourth to the 5 chord, coming down a fifth to the 1 chord. C up a fourth, down a fifth. B flat up a fourth, down a fifth. A flat up a fourth, down a fifth. And you'll see this distinctive pattern throughout jazz songs. So So I'd actually recommend you look through some jazz songs and you spot this pattern. Up a fourth, down a fifth, and the key that the music is in for that 2-5-1 is whatever the 1 chord is. Now, when you see that there's a 2-5-1 in the chord sheet, you need to know how to voice it. And what you're going to do is find the 2 chord by building a minor 7 chord, root 3rd, 5th, and 7th. And then when you go to the 5 chord, you're just going to look for the root and the major 3rd of that chord. And the bottom 2 notes are going to stay the same. So just root and major 3rd of G7, and then you're going to do the same when you go to C major 7, just look for the root and major 3rd of the 1 chord, C major 7. So you find the 2 chord, then go for the root and major 3rd, and then go for the root and major 3rd. And then you can practice this through all 12 keys. So let's play a 2-5-1 in E flat major. Your 2 chord is going to be built from F. You're going to build a minor 7 chord, so minor 3rd, find the natural 5th is C, and find the minor 7th is E flat. That's F minor 7. Now you're going to go to which chord as your 5 chord? We're going to go up a 4th from F. It's going to be B flat. So B flat dominant 7 is going to be the 5 chord. And all you're going to do is go to the root and the major 3rd of B flat dominant 7. And the bottom 2 notes stay the same. And then when we go to E flat major 7, the 1 chord, we just go for the root and the major 3rd, and you keep the top 2 notes the same. Play it like this. Then you can jump to another key. Let's go for G major. The 2 chord, go to the 2nd and build a minor 7 chord. So A minor, find the 5th, find the minor 3rd, whole step and half step, and then find the minor 7th, up the octave, down a whole step. This is A minor 7. Now we're going to go to the 5 chord. What will the 5 chord be? Well, it's going to be up a 4th from A, so A, C, D. Up a 4th is D, so we're going to D dominant 7, and we only have to move the top 2 notes. We're going to go down to the chord's root, so D dominant 7, D will be the root, and F sharp will be the major 3rd. If you want to find the major 3rd, go up 2 whole steps. That can be helpful. And then we're going to go to the 1 chord. The 1 chord will be G major 7. Let's just search for the root and the major 3rd of the chord. Top 2 notes stay the same. This is G major 7. Let's do the same for B major. Let's find the 2 chord, build a minor 7 chord, C sharp minor 7. Then we're going to go to the 5 chord, which is a 4th up from C sharp. 4th up from C sharp is F sharp. So we only have to move the top 2 notes down to the root, which is F sharp, and the major 3rd, which is A sharp, and that's my 5 chord. And then I'm going to find the 1 chord by going to the root, which is B. It's going to be B major 7, and then I'm going to find the major 3rd, which is which note? Whole step is D sharp. So that's my 2-5-1. And the reason you need to learn the 2-5-1 in all keys is that every jazz song you ever play will use this progression in a variety of keys. So by learning the 2-5-1 now, your left hand will be fully ready to play any 2-5-1. And to make sure you learn this accurately, I've notated it as sheet music through all 12 keys. You can download that for free at the link below. Now, most 2-5-1s in jazz will be the major type. However, there's also a minor 2-5-1, which I want you to be aware of. And I'd say that only about 10% of the 2-5-1s are minor. And in C minor, the 2 chord is going to be D half diminished. This is our minor 7 flat 5 chord. And when you see a minor 7 flat 5, it's basically going to be the 2 chord of a minor 2-5-1. Then the 5 chord is going to be a dominant 7 chord again, so it's the same as the major 2-5-1. And then the 1 chord is going to be a minor 7 chord. The 1 chord can vary. Sometimes it's a C minor 6, sometimes it's a C minor major 7, but most of the time it's a minor 7 chord. So in Fly Me to the Moon, we have this B half diminished chord, goes up a 4th to E dominant 7, then it goes down a 5th from E to A, and we have a minor 7 chord. That is a minor 2-5-1. In which key? Just look at the 1 chord. A minor means A minor. And we can use our voicing pattern where we play the 2 chord in root position, the 5 chord in second inversion, and then the 1 chord in root position. So ideally, you would learn this through all 12 keys, but as a beginner, it's not the priority. The main thing is that I want you to know that you can voice this minor 2-5-1 the same way. Now again, I've notated the minor 2-5-1 as sheet music going through all 12 keys. You can download that for free at the link below. Now, if you're serious about jazz piano, I recommend you get a real book. A real book is a collection of jazz songs, and it's a lot of fun to just flick through the pages of these classic jazz standards and to play them for yourself. And I would just buy whichever real book has the most number of songs that you want to play. Now next, I'm going to show you some beginner arranging techniques. These are all simple, but they'll make you sound much more advanced than you really are. To start with, I want to show you a second type of chord voicing called shell voicings. And a shell is where you take a chord, let's take C major 7, and you play just the root in your left hand, and the chord's 3rd and the chord's 7th in your right hand. This is called a shell position A, or you can flip them and play the 7th and the 3rd. This is called position B. We can also do the same for a C minor 7. C minor 7 has a minor 3rd and it has a minor 7th. This is position A, or we can bring it down the octave and play position B. We can do the same for a C dominant 7, shell voicing position A, shell voicing position B. So the ideal time to use a shell voicing is when the melody note is either the 3rd or the 7th. So if you have a C major 7 chord and the melody note is E, then I would play a shell voicing position B, and my top note is also my melody note. Or if the melody note was B, then I'd play a shell voicing position A, and that way I'm playing just the chord voicing, but I end up playing the melody note as well. This works out really nicely on a song like All the Things You Are. F minor 7, the melody note is an A flat, that's the chord's 3rd. So instead of playing a literal voicing, which you could do, I would play a shell voicing position B, so 7th and 3rd. Now, if you're enjoying this lesson, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, and make sure you don't miss out on future videos by subscribing to my channel. So next, let's take a look at the left hand. Sometimes in jazz, you'll have a chord that's held for 4 beats. Well, you don't have to just stay on the root for 4 beats. You can play the root for 2 beats and then play the chord's 5th for 2 beats, like this. If it's a C major 7 chord, or a C minor 7 chord, or a C dominant 7 chord, and it even works on a half-diminished chord. Of course, you'll have to play a flat 5th. So let's play All the Things You Are, just playing the root for 4 beats. And now playing root and 5th. You can even play root, 5th, root if the chord's held for 8 beats, or root, 5th, root, 5th. We could apply it to Autumn Leaves. So here I'm playing root, 5th chord, root, 5th chord. So I'm creating variety in my playing. The next tip is to add a flat 9 above dominant 7 chords. So if we take C dominant 7, to find the flat 9, you're just going to count up a half step from the root, and it's going to be D flat. If you're playing F dominant 7, count up a half step, it's going to be G flat. If you're playing B flat dominant 7, count up a half step, it's going to be B natural. So if you just add a flat 9 to any dominant 7 chord, you're going to sound a lot more advanced. So let's apply this to Misty. Here we have an E flat dominant 7 chord. Let's add a flat 9. Which note will that be? Count up a half step from E flat, it's going to be E natural. It's only going to work for the dominant 7 chords. Here we have a D flat dominant 7, so let's add a flat 9. D flat up a half step is D natural. It looks like this. We can play it as a shell, root, 3rd, 7th, add the flat 9, and then add the melody note, whichever note it is. Shell, root 5th. Another technique is to ripple chords. Now rippling works best when you have lots of notes in the chord. So if we're adding a flat 9 and we also have a different melody note, this chord has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. So that would be a good chord to ripple. Just sort of do this with your hands. And then the rest of the chords you just play all at once. Here I can ripple because I'm playing a shell, adding the flat 9, and I have a melody note here, so let's ripple it. Shell, root 5th, ripple. And before we go to the next tip, make sure you download the free sheet music I've put together for this lesson. You'll get my chord symbol reference guide, which shows you all types of jazz chord, as well as my interval counting table, which shows you all intervals counting from all 12 notes. That way you can make sure you're learning your intervals correctly. So to download the sheet music, just click the link below. So my next tip, I want to show you how to end a jazz song. I'm going to give you 2 simple ending ideas, one for major songs and one for minor songs. So if the song is ending on a major 7 chord, I like to end on the root and 5th, and then I like to play the major 3rd and the major 7th, and I hold down the pedal and I play 3rd and 7th, 3rd and 7th. So let's say you're ending with a 2, a 5, and a 1, root 5th, 3rd, 7th, 3rd, 7th, 3rd, 7th. Now, if you're able, you can even add in an extra reharmonization. So let's say you're ending with a 2, a 5, then instead of just going to C major 7, we add in D flat major 7, like this, root 5th, major 3rd, major 7th. Then you just resolve it down a half step. It's just a bit more special since it is the song's ending. Let's apply it to Misty. And then if you're playing a song that ends on a minor chord, I like to end on a minor 6 chord, arpeggiated, going up the octaves. So in context, so already we're just combining these simple techniques, playing the root and 5th to add some bass movement. We are adding a flat 9 to some of these dominant 7 chords. We're rippling chords, especially when there's lots of notes being played. And we have a variety of chord voicings. We have the literal chord voicings being played, and we have some shells being played. Now make sure you don't miss my next lesson where I'm going to show you how to add 9ths, 11ths and 13ths to your chords. So to watch that video now, click here.